Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. I gotta say that every time I see that graphic and I see Billy's like my very serious professional headshot face and Billy just like it makes me chuckle every time. Quick note: Billy, unfortunately, not able to join us today. He's undergoing surgery. All our thoughts are with him. So far, so good on that, as far as we can tell. And the rest of us are here, and more than just the rest of us, we're actually being joined by special guests today. Luey, welcome to the broadcast. Beautiful to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
No problem at all. A little overview of the episode, guys. It's the standard rundown. We got a bunch of news for you, and then the second half of the show is going to be an interview with Luey. And because we've been on a small unintentional hiatus, there's a lot of news to go through. So we are going to try and rattle through this as quickly as we can.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you take a couple weeks off. Suddenly, we've got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah. Suddenly, stuff happened.
Yeah. A lot of stuff as well. It's been like an active few weeks for the Overwatch scene. Like we picked the worst 3 or so weeks to not do anything.
Yeah, we really did.
Well,
it's fine. We're making up for it.
We are. Well, I mean, we had some health issues. I mean, clearly Billy's still in the hospital, like you said. Thoughts and hearts are with him right now. But it's not going to keep us down. We're coming back.
I'm convinced if Billy is out of anesthesia, he is watching us now. So keep your eyes on chat.
With that said, let's get into it. As we're starting off with a bit of happy news.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is my topic. I'm a big fan of Korean Overwatch and big fan of Korean esports in general. A big part of Korean esports as a whole is Wolf, and of course Overwatch esports in the past. Of course, did Overwatch Contenders Korea, did Overwatch Apex Season 3 and 4, and of course the Overwatch League is what you'll most likely know for. Wolf, one of our favorite casters, well, I assume collectively, is getting married soon. So that's a nice little thought to start us off.
It's great news.
I got to hang out with Wolf 2019 Dallas homestand, and that was one of the best experiences of my life. He was the nicest person, genuinely the nicest person I think I've ever met.
Wow.
It was insane how kind he was and how welcoming he was. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So on a personal level, I mean, 100% vouch, could not be happier. And we're talking a founding father of T2 Overwatch here, Path to Pro. So had to pay some homage here. But we got to
fingers crossed for Wolf maybe getting a contract again this season or some season soon. Would be good to have him back. But moving on, those of you that have seen episodes with us before will know that we are big fans here of Scene Overwatch, an organization that is putting together resources for women and marginalized genders in Overwatch. They're putting together a boot camp with Kaiju Corp, who are another long-running Tier 3, Tier 2 team behind the scenes. So if you find yourself in that particular category and would like some guest coaching and some speaker action here, then go along and check out the tweet highlighted here and go along and sign up. In fact, looking down the list of people that are actually involved in this, that's quite a cool list of people. Aramori, Arietta, Maid, Lemon Kiwi. The thing on my screen is too small for me to pick that one up.
Kara is the one.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so great opportunity there if you find yourself in need of some of those resources.
It's a nice wide range of different professions as well, and there are players, casters, coaches, etc. You can learn a lot from that.
Yeah, agreed.
And as this focus of Scene is open to women and non-binary members, so really trying to promote that side of things and get more inclusivity in Overwatch, which is just better for everybody.
Yeah, heck yeah,
pretty awesome. Yeah, I've actually I'm pretty knowledgeable in Kaiju Corp. I'm in their Discord. I know the guy, one of the guys who runs the the team or the organization, Tengu. He used to be one of my manager the first time I switched to PC from Xbox. And he was awesome. He's an awesome guy, and Kaiju Corp is just doing great things for people who want to get good at the game or want to learn. So props to them for sure.
Cool. Well, yeah, thanks for the insight.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. Here you were worried you wouldn't have much ties into some of our news segments. And then boom, out of the gate, you're like, wait a minute, I know that. I know these people.
Yeah. I was a little surprised to see Kaiju Corp up there. I was like, wow, yeah, I haven't heard about them in a little while. But Tengu's great, and the Kaiju Corp people are really awesome. I like them all.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Yeah, additional vouch.
All right, moving on. Am I up here? I'm juggling 17 things over here.
Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah.
You got a lot to do. You're next on the list, Jeff.
Thank you. Okay. My cue card coming up. Another boot camp. This one coming from Natter, who is, well, you're going to see a trend here. Our next 3 items actually featuring Natter. But this one is just some good coaching. Another place to go find some outside influence, a way to just get better at the game, learn some more stuff. You got DPS run by Natter, and then tank run by Sword OW. And look at it. Looks like 25 hours for $150. That's a lot of coaching.
It's pretty good value.
Yeah, I mean, $150 may seem like a lot, but I've paid for coaching that's like $30 per hour. So doing the math on that's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. So definitely a big shout out there. Natter's doing great things.
Wow.
Natter's doing more things, right? Natter's doing some recruiting for some collegiate program as well. I don't know which one it is. Probably a DM, just ask him out of curiosity. But anyways, I'm a big fan of Natter. Every single interaction I've had with Natter is great. So if you're interested in Collegiate Overwatch, you meet the criteria that I assume is shown on the screen. I'm not actually looking at the stream right now. Go and apply. Go and ask for more information. Natter's a great gamer, so any opportunity that he's sharing or providing, definitely put your nose in if you're interested.
Yeah, it doesn't specify which school here, but that there is full tuition, food program, and travel covered. Looking for DPS and support players at 4.5K. And to DM Natter, that is Natter hashtag 0640 on Discord. So there you go. And it does specify posting for a friend. So the school is undisclosed, but you love to see these opportunities. Like this is growth. And this is something, we wouldn't see a year ago. You didn't see these kind of random postings for these kind of, LFPs. And it's just very indicative to me on how much the scene is growing and how much collegiate is growing specifically.
Yeah. Yeah, I love to see that for sure. The more opportunities for people and more colleges recognizing that esports is growing and it can be something to invest in. I love to see it all the time.
Yeah,
of course, another
really
team
cool.
for you to compete against as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The more competition, the better.
It's a lot more exciting than a college going for like a 3.2K team, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
More rivals for you.
The more competition, the better for sure.
I mean, that's a high tide raises all ships kind of scenario.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
100%. And the last little bit here in we should have had like a header for this. Like this is our Natter segment of the broadcast.
Oh yeah,
we've got a bit of a recap here from. So those of you that aren't aware, Natter's actually been running a Diamond and Up divisional tournament over the past month 6 weeks, something like that. Like it's been going for a while now, and so we actually concluded last week with the Diamond tournaments, but the week before that was I believe this is the Grandmaster, which was open to sort of tier 2, tier 3 teams, and GeForce OW coming away with the dub on that one. And like GeForce have actually been doing pretty well all round recently in the handful of tier 2 and tier 3 events that we've had over the past couple of months. So it's good to see them keeping up that form. Hopefully we see them keep that momentum and put up a bit of a showing when we get to the eventual path to pro, whatever that ends up looking like. We'll discuss that a little later in the broadcast, I guess.
Well, and it's one of the things that stood out for me here. Oh, sorry. I
just wanted to pop in. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say these teams, pretty much all these teams listed here that made playoffs. And Luey, I'm gonna have to rib you a little bit on this one, but I know y'all got stuck in a weird group there and kind of got a little unlucky on this one. But nevertheless, my original point still stands. These are all teams I think we'll be looking out for in whatever form Open Division takes, and teams that could potentially go to trials, especially these the top 4, all looking pretty darn strong. Ocean, apologies to interrupt. What was your thoughts?
I mean, my organization in Sandy actually sponsored this event.
Oh,
We're all about progression. So this tournament, which focuses on the progression of tier 3 teams into potential tier 2, just by having the opportunity to compete against extra tier 3 teams, diamond teams competing against each other as well. So it's just a nice goal to see from the tournament. I remember actually talking to Natter when this tournament was kind of in the planning phases. It was already kind of announced. But I was asking him the goals of this tournament, and he was just saying progression. That's really it, and that message really stuck with me.
Just as a little bit of...
sorry, can I?
No, go on, Louis. You go.
All right, cool. I was actually a bit surprised. I didn't realize that Bear Claw made it to finals. I didn't watch the rest of the tournament, unfortunately. But they were in our group, and it was really fun playing against them. We also had like I think Solstice and Inertia. I could be wrong.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Solstice came out and we lost it. I don't know if it was our first or second game, but we lost them. They surprised me a little bit because I thought I've played Solstice a lot and even scrimmed against them. And they came out with like a brand new tank line, and they're both very, very good. I think both their tanks were from region. I could be wrong.
Yeah, today in green, yeah. Exactly right.
Today, yeah, I think his Winston's nuts. I think that guy's really good. So I was very surprised when we faced them and they brought out those two tanks, and I was like, wow. And they were really good, like a totally different squad. And they showed us up, and we weren't ready for it. So props to them. However, after that match we faced Bear Clown, we beat them. And that's why I was a little surprised. I didn't realize they made finals, so that's interesting to see. So I guess something to take note of.
But Bakelor are a really interesting team. I actually think they're a lot of fun to watch. But the thing that most stands out for me is that the number of incredibly high-ranking teams they knocked out in the in Jangwa's Berry Community Blast. Like largely because of the format, but it was still like, oh, Bear Claw Gaming beat Redbird Esports. Like no one expected that to happen, but yeah, that was cool. I also got the opportunity to cast the Diamond finals for the Nata tournament, which was as someone who's had a chance to cast quite a lot in the past few months, one of the most enjoyable matches I have cast in a very long time. Very close, very good fun.
I think it's super important that players of all ranks get to compete. So, I mean, having it open to that, where it's not just you don't have to be 4.5K to find good competition and get to enjoy, playing an organized tournament against players of your same skill level and get that steel on steel kind of growth that only good competition will give you. That shouldn't be reserved for just the highest of ranks. So to see that open to Diamond players and Masters players, it was just a really cool thing. Really cool thing. Oh, what do you got going over? I'm intrigued. You keep holding up a. You got some notes?
So this is a note for you because you're just so you know, that's our next topic. It says that Jeff, it's your news item next. And really messy handwriting. I've been working on this. I have some notes underneath that as well, and I've been kind of fiddling around with them, trying to find which one's next. But yeah, this is your next news item. It's in green as well. It's probably not the best way to write it.
Oh yeah, we're barely picking it up on stream, but that's okay.
If you look at the top, I did like a little small drawing of a house. It's really bad. There's no windows or anything, but
why a house?
Okay. I'm gonna put this thing back on the tracks. And yes, Jeff, it is your news item next.
Yeah. Yay. All right. I don't know how I got this one because would you like
to know exactly how you got this news item? Was I went down the list going Ethan, Phil, Jeff, Ethan, Phil, Jeff, Ethan, Phil, Jeff. And so this is yours, and enjoy.
This was Winter Classic. Always a favorite. Florida Mayhem do fantastic job of giving us some great content in the off season each year, year after year, and had a surprising finish with a reverse sweep coming out of Wisp. They're able to take down Solaris, who had, like we mentioned, they had won the Berry Community Blast. They won the Experimental Cup. They were looking pretty darn strong coming out of the gate. And we're up 2-0, and probably was the most serious of the above aforementioned tournaments because it had more traditional style brackets and first to threes and things of that nature. And Wish showing up and surprising people. I mean, a good roster here. Mathel and Rocket, really stood out to me on this tournament. So it was good stuff. Let's see if I don't have I thought I had the bracket for this one too, but I don't.
Well. No, but yeah, a really good job from both Florida Mayhem and from Bad Pachamari League, who were the sort of broadcast partner for that. Always a really good time. The classics, whether you're just watching or whether you're involved in the broadcast. So yeah, good to see another one pulled off successfully.
It looked like we may have lost Ocean for a moment.
Oh dear. Victim of that British internet. Oh, we actually lost him. Okay, he's still in chat. He's muted. I guess we can figure out what's happened to him when he comes back.
He'll be back.
He'll be back. So I mean, I actually he has the next news item here, and I've got to be honest. I don't know what happened in the Esports Night 2022. I know this was a limited time tournament that ran in Korea between some top Korean teams. But I haven't even kept track of who actually won this one.
I got you covered. I did.
Thank you.
I did watch this one. It was
There he is. He's back.
Oh,
Welcome.
nice. Welcome back. Yeah, it was just a show match between 4 teams out of Korean Contenders, and so I mean, just getting some content from APAC. We got to see Talon's new roster in action, which we'll go over here in a little bit. And I mean, it was a funny format. It was mostly goats. It was essentially a open queue, not a no roll lock. That's the word I'm looking for. It was a no roll lock tournament, so it was mostly goats with a little bit of triple DPS in there. So not exactly indicative of what we might see come next Contender season, but nevertheless, Talon able to take a really good victory over O2 Blast, which is something they've never done.
Yeah. Really interesting to me was the 4 teams selected, right? It was just kind of like bigger names. I was really surprised to see Gen G there, right? So I don't know really why they were selected. Obviously, they weren't in the previous edition of Contenders. Wonder why that happened. Oops. Yeah. I enjoyed it. It was interesting to see some no roll lock again. So yeah, no, it was nice. And Talon were surprised victors.
Yeah, they put up a heck of a showing against the 2-time champs. I mean, Talon were your runner-up last year, but that was the grand finals, and it was a heck of a grand finals. Talon almost brought back the grand finals for 2021. And got a little revenge there in that event. It was fun to watch. Always good just to get some content, get to see these teams play. Kind of the last GOATS hurrah, I think, of Overwatch 1 for professional play.
Until we get to whatever the GOATS equivalent is in Overwatch 2, the overpowered comp that takes a year to nerf.
It won't be GOATS, though. It won't be GOATS. So
yeah.
We had another show match featuring O2 Blast as well.
We did, yeah. San Francisco Shock have cut... It's a partnership between O2 Blast and San Francisco Shock, I think, based largely in part of just how much of the most recent O2 Blast roster they picked up. We don't know yet whether this partnership is like a full-on academy team or just like a strategic thing that helps them, or whether there's any real point in splitting that particular difference. But yeah, San Francisco Shock versus O2 as a show match marked the return of Bren and Sideshow to cover that one. I know a lot of the community were happy to see that. And an interesting mix of looks from both teams. Like, we saw some goats, and we saw, like, it kind of looked like running through some of the various combinations that we saw for different grand finals in different seasons of Overwatch League. Whether or not that was intentional, I'm not really sure, but it was overall a pretty good fun. One of the better pieces of Overwatch League related off-season content that we've had. I'm sure the VOD is still out. We're going to catch that if we didn't catch it live.
Yeah, I actually want to like delve in on this just quickly on the OT Blast Shock relationship. I'm a big OT Blast fan. I had a lot of interactions with them, or a lot more interactions than I was expecting to have with them in my time working in Contenders Korea. Really, really good people. I mean, the record over the past 2 years from OT Blast, it really does show. I think Shock have got a good partnership there. One, it's a potential scrim partner, right? Which, I mean, if you're scrimming OT Blast, it's a really good scrim partner.
Yeah.
And 2, OT Blast have quite a lot of good young players right now. Spectra, Heesang, etc. Shock will be sorted in terms of talent for a long time now, I reckon.
And this one was interesting because we kind of got a wide variety. We saw a little bit of GOATS, but we also saw some 5v5. And at the back of it, the final match, they did a 5v5, kind of a preview for Overwatch 2. Shock did take that one map, but just barely. Both teams went into extra innings, and O2 Blast actually had the bigger time bank going into extra innings, but Shock was able to full hold them on point A Blizzard World. So take it what it is. I mean, Heesang looked really, really good. Heesang and Pro both looked really, really good during this match. I think both these squads are going to be stacked for this next year. It's going to be nuts.
I also thought it was really interesting to see a double shield rush again. Man, it's been so long, and I actually really enjoyed that meta when Orisa was pretty much broken. You could just hold W and just shield past the other Orisa.
Yep.
That was really fun to watch as well.
Yeah, nice cross section of the history of Overwatch 1, almost like a little bit of a send off.
Exactly.
Of course, not the actual last competitive Overwatch. I think every tournament in the past 6 months has gone, oh well, might be the last time we see this particular map for Overwatch 2. After that, we got the Monkey Bubble Project Sunflower, didn't we, Ethan?
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
Jeff
this,
on that one.
this
My
is
bad.
Jeff.
I
Oh,
just
sorry,
completely
it's the
misread
return
that.
of Jeff. It's your news.
Jeff, it's your news item.
Oh, it's my news item. All right. Here we go. I'm on top of things. I even managed to change the topic on time this time. So yeah, we had the Project Sunflower tournament. Not this past weekend, but the weekend before. And I mean, this was just an amazing event, a fun event, all in the name of raising money to for the humanitarian crisis going on in Ukraine at this moment. And speaking of that is still going. So able to raise over $5,000 throughout that tournament. It was a huge success. There is a link in the description below. So if you have anything extra you can give, I mean, that's definitely a lot of people there in need of just basic human supplies. I mean, food, water, blankets. I mean, the list goes on. Hygiene kits. I mean, it's so definitely going to a good cause here. A lot of people have been evacuated. A lot of people without just your basic humanitarian needs. So it was a really good cause. It was a really fun tournament. Our friend Billy was casting alongside Leg Day for that one. That was awesome to see. And I mean, just big props to everybody involved in this for setting that up, because it was a lot of fun to watch, and it couldn't be for better cause.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that's amazing to see, for sure.
All right,
Cool.
trekking on through. Who's got this next one?
I was going to say, like, just give me a second to bring up a little piece of paper that says, Ethan, it's your news item.
Yeah. Sorry, I've been doodling on my Jeff, it's your news item for the next time. It is Jeff's news item. And we're going to talk about what I assumed was the Positive Attitude Cup. It's a high school and collegiate tournament in Pennsylvania. Actually, that's what the PA stands for. But I just assumed high school tournament, positive attitude. That's quite, that was what I was thinking earlier. Yeah. So essentially, this is a nice little tournament for teams in Pennsylvania to, get a bit of notoriety. There is 1.5K in both high school and collegiate for teams to make up. So I guess rewarding those around the Pennsylvania area.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of like regional competitions because if you look at, like, particularly for Overwatch, like if you look at the way that the league is structured, it can be difficult to find a team close to you to support. So you don't have that regional thing that you get in more traditional sports. So it's nice that there is like something to bring together people in an area, even if it's not like the T1 competition.
And they get a LAN. LAN is
they get a LAN.
The LAN grand finals are this weekend. Yeah. So I mean that's awesome, especially for high school students.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this the time where I sulk and say I haven't done a LAN event yet? It's like, it's a good experience.
Yeah. Louis, when did you do your first LAN?
So I've only done a very small LAN at a mall when they've like opened a gaming arena.
Yeah.
It's actually the Grapevine Mall.
Yeah,
that was
yeah. It's
so
a Belong Arena, right?
Yeah. I think that's what it was. Was it Belong or something like that?
They do have one in Grapevine.
Yeah. So it was all right. There was only like one or two other teams there. The other ones were like mostly like our staff members or anything like that. So it wasn't anything like too crazy. Yeah. However, a few years ago, back in like 2019, they hosted a Battle for Texas at the Arlington Stadium, and that was really cool. I didn't get to play in that, unfortunately, but I've been hoping like one of the Texas colleges like steps up and hosts another tournament like that again, because that was amazing. A lot of work, but I think it's definitely something that we should do for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm a little jealous that Harrisburg gets to put together a little tournament for the region. I would love to take on all the Texas teams as well. It'd be super fun.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Was that the day before the Battle for Texas? Or was it
Which
that
one?
The match that you're talking about? That was at the esports arena.
No, Battle for Texas was back in like 2019.
Oh, okay, you're talking about like the original.
Yeah,
the original.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That was
2019.
Yeah,
we're all really old. Holy shit!
Speak for yourself, Boomer.
All right.
Funny enough, I cast the one that was against University of St. Thomas, where they did the collegiate battle for Texas.
Event.
Yeah.
But I was casting from the Dallas side. You were casting from the evil Houston side.
I was actually casting from
eviler.
Well, they approached me first. All right, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
no. You just weren't cool enough to cast for the Dallas side.
Was that the match like during the like June or July?
Yes.
Yeah, roughly.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and then
it was like the night before the Battle for Texas. Last year.
That's what it was. Yeah. We played it. Yeah, that was we played against them. That was when we played that match. We played our old roster. So we didn't have Pedal. We didn't have Kosher. It was, and not to say like their roster was by any means any bad or anything. It's just like we didn't have like the power we do now. And I do have to say I was a little bit salty because they brought in a player that was not from their school, like wasn't an official student. It was just a Contenders player. I think his name was Kosh.
It was a Cash.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And he didn't attend their school, and I was a little confused. Like I thought this was like a fully collegiate tournament, but it's okay. It was
Cash did some coaching for them at one point though, so like, I guess like not full cheating, is it? Okay,
regardless, it was fun, and I enjoyed it. Everyone played against them. Like no hate towards them. It was really fun, and it was really cool to see Houston Outlaws do that. I've been hoping that Dallas Fuel would maybe do the same. Team Envy would do the same thing, but nothing has happened. But I don't know. I mad respect to Houston Outlaws for doing that, having a whole boot camp for them and bringing them in. That was super cool to see, for sure.
It was a cool event. I was proud to be a part of it.
Here's hoping we get some more of that in the future. And,
Speaking of cool events, though.
Speaking of cool events, that's right. The Overwatch Questline Open is happening over the next 2 weekends. A little bit of an interesting one here because it's an open format and there are limitations. We believe, having spoken to some other people involved, on how many Contenders players you can have on your roster, which is why when we look at the teams that are involved here, it's not necessarily the players and the teams that we would expect. I was looking at, why haven't we got Solaris? Where's Sheer Cold? Where's Shoes Money Crew? But no, regardless, this is a heck of an opportunity. This is a $10,000 prize pool for this Open. And we do have a bunch of relatively well-known teams playing for this, even if they aren't the teams that we might expect. And even if they're not well-known teams, they maybe have players on them who are quite well-known. Dice Gaming being the place to start here. We have a look at the roster for that.
Yep,
it's
you got...
turn of Jeff I've actually drawn a wee doodle again. I've got Brigitte Lindholm in the top right. You've got a shield.
Oh, very nice.
And
like if any of us could make that out on the camera, that would be
I'm
wonderful.
sure it's lovely.
I'll send a picture later, and then we've also
please.
got underneath Brigitte. There's the words uwu and owo and the smiley face as well. So it's
there we go. Yeah, now we get it.
Yeah,
thank you.
Anyway, back to the topic.
I'm going to start cracking some whips in the background.
You need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just got a couple rosters here that are put together to compete in this tournament. I mean, it's cool to see a major kind of for this level. I mean, like you mentioned, the 10K prize pool. Got one of Luey's teammates here, as Pedal is going to be competing with Dice for this event. Cool backline on this one, Mosier and Aspen. That's a pretty solid backline.
I like that backline.
I like that backline a lot.
I'm not a big Dice fan, but I'm a big fan of that backline. We'll say that.
Yeah. And then we have another fun squad in Team Roadhog coming through with this fantastic meme to go along with it. But this one you've got Redemption and Colluge on the tank line. So definitely. Yeah, and I was gonna say, and King, who has just been dominant on Solaris in this offseason.
Oh my god. I've seen that guy play. He's nuts. Like, oh my god, he can take a whole team on his back and just carry.
Yeah,
that guy's crazy.
Big King fan over the off season. Of course, Kalu is there as well. So this is going to be probably one of your bigger contenders as well. I will say I'm a little bit confused on the direction of this tournament, right? Because we got a 10K prize fund. It's a major, and limit on contenders players seems a bit weird, but I guess we're seeing opportunities for tier 3 players to showcase themselves and put them in kind of like a market window for when Overwatch 2 comes out. And I'm kind of looking at some of these tier 3 players. Just if you wanna hit me up.
All right.
Sorry.
Let's keep it rolling. Who's got this next one?
This is Boston making a not quite last minute, but very close to signing, not even a signing, a promotion of Itzal from the Uprising Academy roster to Boston Uprising proper. And whilst this is cool, we always love to see a tier 2 talent given a chance in the big leagues. It's a weird signing because this makes the third tank that is currently signed to Boston Uprising, notably after about a week and a half after teams have access to the Overwatch 2 alpha. So we don't know if this is like Boston going, oh, we need to cover some bases here, or whether they're doing Like, there is this thing about Boston where they are viewed as a team that just buys up contracts to develop talent and sell them on for more money. Maybe it's that. Who really knows?
I mean, I think it's a weird promotion. It's all at a really good end of 2021. Really good end to 2021. So it is a weird pickup because you've already got Marvel. You'd imagine to be one of the leaders on this team, and Punk as well. I don't know. It's an odd one, but I'm not. I like to see it's all getting promoted. I just
Yeah.
not sure why this happened. Do you know what I mean?
There's an
My thoughts on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, please, Louis, have the floor.
Okay. My thoughts on it is people don't know how Overwatch 2 is going to be like for tanks.
Yeah.
And people were just bagging on maybe like picking up different people to focus on like 2 heroes, maybe 3. I was a little surprised by this pickup too. This is like it's very late into the almost like to the beta, and they just randomly announced this. I imagine they had this guy for a while already, but they just haven't announced it for a while. But my thoughts on it is that they're picking him up maybe to just be like a ball Orisa player, and maybe have Marv play like I don't know, Ryan, Winston, whatever he plays Sigma. He's a really good Sigma player. So
Yeah.
that's the only reason why I could see that maybe. That's the only good reason I could see in the back of my mind, I think.
It is interesting. There's an interesting debate between Sideshow and Avril about this topic.
Oh, I read that. It was good.
Yeah. Where Sideshow was like, it's an adjustment. They saw the beta and decided they need an adjustment. Avril's like, there's no way they made that knee jerk of a reaction after a week and a half of playing on the beta. And they will go through a whole, like, kind of list out their reasons. And it was a good little debate, but it is kind of a head scratcher.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, Louis. I think that the only thing could be like a specific hero.
Maybe he's got a really good Doomfist.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe he's insane at Doomfist.
It's gonna be weird when we see that alternative timeline where one random Overwatch team picks up Get Quaked on.
Oh my god, I would love that so much. I love Get Quaked on.
Imagine Get Quaked on, like, practicing some windowsill rollout mid-match.
Yeah.
For content.
Like I want to derail here. Normally it's me trying to get us back on track, but like, I agree with SK of like, if Get Quaked on picked up like a sensible hero pool, the guy's brain is so big that he would be number one. If you ever watched him just go, oh wait, I need to get over there and kill those guys, so geometry, dead. Like, just in the blink of an eye. Like, if he turned his powers towards something more constructive, think of the things he could achieve.
Yeah, imagine if he like dedicated his life to world peace or something. We would be sitting here nice and comfortable.
It's the Ethan, it's your turn sign as we keep this thing rolling. I want to get to the meat of this interview. This is such good stuff. We have to talk about it, but I want to get to the meat of this interview.
Right. So we're here to delve into the Talon roster. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of time on this, unfortunately, because I'm a big Talon fan. They've usually done really good scouting in the past, and they also beat us up really badly in Korean Contenders. Like, really, really badly. But we're going to ignore that for now. I guess the notable thing is Anson J is back with Talon, right? So a little bit of a time with the Toronto fight. What's really weird is Cho Rong, who was Talon support last season, has went to Toronto, and Anson J's went back to Talon. It's like a main support trade.
Yeah.
Little musical chairs there.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. The rest of this roster doesn't wow me, but they played well, in a unique tournament recently against O2 Blast, and Attack, who I'm going to be real, I'm not a big Attack fan. There's actually, I mean, I did a review ages ago. I think it was Genji versus whatever roster it was at the time. Whatever it was against Heesang, okay? And Attack had a really, really bad series. But I'm not the biggest Attack fan, but Attack played really well recently in that GOATS show match, I guess, against O2 Blast. So I'm hoping Attack can have a good year. Obviously, proven player, been around Korea for a while. But it was a weird roster to look at for me.
I wasn't super impressed with it on paper, but they came out and beat O2 Blast and GOATS. So
yeah,
I mean that says a lot right there.
I would like to note that Talon's excellent talent scouting, right? That they were top 4 all of last year in Korea, and that takes a lot. But I can't help but look at this roster and say they're gonna be behind T1. I'd reckon they're gonna be behind O2 Blast. and a Team CC are there and are back, they'll be probably behind Team CC. So Talon has a little bit of work to do, in my personal opinion.
I was surprised by the size of the roster, to be perfectly honest.
It's quite big.
When a lot of teams are keeping things relatively lean because we really don't fully know what next season is going to look like for any kind of tier 2 competition. Like, I think that 10, 11 people on the roster seems pretty big.
Yeah, it's a huge team. It's a huge team. But
I'm sorry. Maybe they want to. I'm sorry about that. Maybe they want to like experiment with like 2 different squads. Like, didn't an Overwatch League team do that before? I don't know. Like, they had like a 12-man roster and they wanted to.
I think the Valiant didn't go well, so they fired everyone.
Maybe I'm thinking about maybe Spark.
Spark did it as well. Yeah.
Spark
did
it
Like
as well, but it didn't
2019
work out for
Spark.
them either.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're experimenting.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for focus, I think. Again, particularly when we don't know what's happening over the next few months. One thing that we do know is happening over the next few months is some games coming up with your roster, Luey. So this is down as my line item, but it doesn't seem like there's any better person currently on the broadcast to go over who you're playing with this season.
Yeah, so we just picked up our. I mean, you saw the roster announcement. We picked up our first ever woman player. Her name is Bella. She is a freshman. The reason why we picked her up is because one of our players, our flex support, Artsy Fartsy, he wanted to focus a little bit more on school, so he took a step back, which is a little unfortunate, but she's great. And Artsy's still around if we need him, so the team is really looking good for the rest of the semester. We have a lot of important matches coming up. OWCC is going to finishing stages this weekend, and playoffs should be next weekend. So there's a lot of good matches happening probably next weekend for sure, and some happening this weekend too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I intended to add that to the run of show. And it's tough to figure out when OCC is happening. Like you have to like dig into their Discord to find the schedule and everything.
Oh
It
yeah,
doesn't seem very easily accessible.
No, it is a little hard to find.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I just looked to the side of my screen, like the YouTube stream that we have, and Cashier's Genji. I thought someone was attacking me. So it's a clean animation and scared the living shit out of me.
Yeah, we have a good production video team at UTD. Like, they do such great work for sure.
No, that was a sick roster video. I had to go full screen on that for podcast because that is a sick roster video.
Yeah. One thing I will say, we haven't actually got this as a line item, so we are into playoffs for OCC, whatever, however many C's that has that. Anticipation is that hopefully those are going to be broadcast. I know that both Kenobi and Rich have been putting out content specifically with OWCC over the past few weeks to sort of try and keep people up to date on what is happening. So my hope is that we actually get to see some of that broadcast over the next few weeks.
I reckon we need this broadcasted in the future. We had it previously, do we not? Like, I think it's ridiculous.
We had homecoming broadcast. I don't know if we had the regular season broadcast.
Nah, I think it's ridiculous. We don't have a broadcast for this. Yeah. This is so much talent that we're gonna see in the future. And you know what? Path to Pro is as unstable as ever right now, right? And has been unstable in the past. This is a good option to keep your tier 2 and tier 3 player base kind of alive. I don't understand why this isn't broadcasted at all.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, so there is a Discord with all the top collegiate teams that even my team is in. And they have a representative from Blizzard there, and he communicates with us very often. I think his name is Jake. I could be wrong. But he actually messaged us like 2 days ago, and somebody asked if playoffs are going to be streamed. So he said yes. So I'm hoping. I kind of wish that groups would have been streamed as well. There's been some really good matches. So, but I'll just take
in
playoffs.
The future.
Yeah, maybe in the future.
This and they're like, okay, that's a smart idea. Why didn't we think of that before?
Yeah, I think in general, just like there's a lot of talent in collegiate, very underrated talent. Even like people who have never been in contenders or never had that experience. There's some really insanely good players. Like one notable, like from Bay State, Neb. Like he's insane. Like he's hit like rank 1 multiple times already, and I don't think he's ever been in contenders as far as I'm aware. There's some really just like random talent out there.
Yeah, like Iron was in the same boat, right? Iron on the original win streak Redbird Esports roster, and still on their roster now, nobody knew who he was when he trialed for Redbird. Like, it was just like, oh no, this guy's absolutely sick at off tank. So yeah, of course we're signing him. Like,
Yeah,
there is
there's
a
a
lot of
couple of
undiscovered stuff.
things like that, where like in particular Redbirds, they picked up Vision recently. And I was like, wait, that's weird. Pick up Vision's been like in trials a couple of times, and I was wrong to question that. I was definitely wrong because Weeds instantly said when we had him on, he was like, yeah, no, Vision's been cracked. I'm like, okay, cool, let's see it this week. Oh, yeah.
And when you
right.
when you find those random players, like for us, we didn't just like sign a bunch of people. Like Artsy, he just came. Kosher, he just came. Pedal was like the one person that we actually like try to recruit. But you just find random talent on campus. Yeah. You just find like random talent on campus, and it's amazing to see, really. And like there's a lot of talent out there that I wish that Blizzard or any like just in general would just like highlight and broadcast our games a little bit more often. Like some of the games are insane, and one of the best rivalries right now in Collegiate is Bay State versus Northwood, in my opinion. They always have gone head to head. I cannot tell you how many games they played against each other. Like I would say like maybe over like 20 games they faced each other in multiple different tournaments. And it's super cool to see, and those rivalries and just the players and see them develop. And like I said, I just wish they were just highlighted more in general.
Yeah, they actually played recently in NECC. Bay State won that one 3-1.
No way.
Yeah.
Why have you not? What?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm missing this action.
Bay State stonks are all the way up here. I'm telling you. I call Bay State going to #1 this season. Like I call it. I have a lot of faith in the boys over there.
I actually do want to say that I hope that we get to talk about Collegiate more on this podcast because we get to highlight. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to highlight the Tier 2 and Tier 3 scene as well as Collegiate, and I don't know, that's why we have you here with us this week as well.
Damn right. All right. Well, big news. Continue moving this forward.
Hang on, Jeff. Hang on. Ethan, can you hold up the paper again, please?
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. There we go. Okay, now it's your time, Jeff.
Sorry, I had to wait for my cue card.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to do a quick flip on my headset here, so stream won't get the three of y'all for just a moment because I realize my headset's dying from being wireless, so I gotta plug it in wired.
Can, like, insult them and they won't hear us.
Right. But I'm gonna go ahead and I hadn't unplugged it yet. Oh my goodness. All right. Anyway, so we did get the beta announcement, and what's important about this is how it's going to affect Contenders. Obviously, it's very exciting for everybody all around, but how the impact it's going to have on T2, I think, is particularly important, and particularly with the announcement that we got afterwards that Contenders is going to start after the first beta season ends. I mean, whatever that could possibly look like. So here, I'm going to go ahead and change a couple things here simultaneously. Forgive me.
They said that until the beta season ends. Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Here, I didn't get the chance to read it, but
there we go. Y'all are back on stream now. Yeah, they announced that Contenders is going to start when like the first beta period ends. So we didn't get much more specific than that. Like that was about as specific as they got.
That can be a really long time. Like the beta can go like for months. Like not.
Although I actually want to quickly note that they did say it's a note on 2022 Contenders. Did they not?
They did.
I remember reading 2022.
Yeah.
So, I mean, imagine they just have like 3 or 4 like mini tournaments near the end, all for $1.3 million across the regions. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion. Would like to cast that.
But there is a lot to break down in specifically like the Contenders announcement for P2P and the fact that it is on the Overwatch 2 beta, which is good news. That's what we were all hoping for. But we kind of like were resigned to. It's probably going to be too complicated to roll out on a beta like that. So that's good that that's happening. A little bit of this announcement is like, that's a lot of stuff to read. I'm not reading it all, so I'm glad for you, or I'm sorry that happened, was like my main response. I had to force my brain to like sit down and parse everything.
It was hard to read. It wasn't very well formatted, the article. It was like, there was no like key highlights. I guess we could talk about like the positives and negatives of it. I think one of the major positives, I am going to kind of small dig on the North American region. I am so glad that it's open access because that seed buying shit needed to go. Holy fuck. like that was a mess. Like the main way I make money in North America was either place like first or second or sell some seeds, and I didn't think that was right at all. And I'm kind of glad it's gone because we saw some instances where teams bought seeds and did really poorly, and it had a really negative effect on Overwatch Tier 2, in my personal opinion.
And this is the line of, in 2022, we're putting closed league play on hold and making all Contenders tournaments shorter with open registration formats like double and single elim tourneys.
The shorter worries me, though. The shorter worries me.
Yeah, I was thinking
it's pretty darn short already, and this is open access. This is gonna be like 128 teams or whatever, probably.
Yeah. Did you guys ever take part in like the early open divisions where it was literally like a 500 team open bracket? And you're trying to, like, running down the list of 500 teams, going, who do I actually want to like talk about in this list?
Yeah, it's a little bit easier for us nowadays, where it's like 200, and like the social media of tier 2, tier 3 teams has got better over the past couple of years. The last 2 years have been a lot better than it was originally, right? So we can kind of pick them out on social media, and that's an easy way to go through it. But no, it was definitely impossible in the past.
Yeah, now that's collegiate right now. There's like 400 colleges to keep up with. Like oh my gosh. But yeah, I remember those old days when I switched to PC, and it was like 300 OD teams that I just didn't know anybody, and I was like, oh my god, there's so much competition. It was exciting though. It was exciting that there was a lot of good teams out there. So.
If this is truly an open registration, is there potential we see UTT try to take a stab at Contenders?
I think so. I think that I kind of wish that it continued like this year, because our team is the best it's ever been.
Right.
I think that we've gotten some really good wins, and we've proven ourselves as a team. I think that we are still growing as a team, and I think we could have easily made trials. I think that a lot of like I think I mentioned this to you, that the top 8 teams I think would have made trials if Contenders would have continued still.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I completely buy that.
I think the last note really on this is probably no open division, probably no trials,
or it's going to take a different form. It's not going to.
Unless they just like make it one big tournament and kind of have it in stages. The first 2 rounds are like OD. I don't know. There's a lot of vagueness in the statement we got, and again, it wasn't well formatted.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions.
Yeah, and we have maybe a little bit of a more doomer outlook on this than some other people do, because open division and trials are as an up and coming caster where you start to prove yourself. Like most of certainly the more recent additions to tier 2 casting, or like tier 2 adjacent casting, have all done their time in trials and open division. If we've got an entire year where there isn't that, like, I don't know what we do as broadcast.
Because
all we can do at this point is kind of complain, look to the future, and hope. Which honestly, like, is that, when you think about it, that's not really that much different to what trying to get into like tier 2 broadcast has been like for people in our position anyway. It's like, well, better just cross my fingers, and I don't want to say hope someone gets hit by a bus, but hope someone gets a better opportunity that leaves a gap in Contenders that someone can step up into.
Yeah, bit of a bottleneck from talent wise. I mean, I think it was the same way from players as well.
I think actually a couple of members of the police team were talking about like a little bit of gatekeeping that went on with the tier 2 players in North America for a little bit. It happened in Europe a tiny bit as well. Yeah. I think North America was just the greatest defender.
Well, looks like we have finally reached, guys, after almost an hour, the end of our news items here, which was maybe not quite as quick as we wanted to rattle through that, but regardless, we are ready to go on to the next bit. It was a good attempt. We tried our best. We only got diverted a couple times. We've already introduced Luey. You guys have already heard from him over the course of the news items. It would have been really weird for him just to sit in stony silence for the entire hour.
So it was kind of a terrible introduction. We're on episode 4. We're still not very good at this, but we'll get better. I promise.
I refuse to get better, but yeah, in theory, that's what's going to happen. Luey, thank you for coming to talk to us today. Hopefully, we can spend the next. I think you've got to go in 35 minutes for a match. Is that right?
I should be good. I got somebody to play for me, so I'm good.
Okay, we'd like to let you get back to that. So we won't speed run it, but we'll do what we can. So let's kick things off here. Louis, how did you get into Overwatch? What was your starting point?
Yeah, so I actually tried out the beta. I was a console player originally on Xbox, and I tried out the beta with a few friends. They asked me to play over the summer, and I just fell in love with the game immediately because I've always been like a big COD player before. Like I've always only played COD like solely, and trying out Overwatch and not only having to play just like one person, just one single character that just shoots. Like there's a variety of characters. I just fell in love immediately. But yeah, so Xbox, and I just played a lot of ranked on Xbox and even competed in the Xbox tournaments that happened, CGL in particular. That was like a big one I played in. And then I just kept on competing over the years. I think, I want to say 2019, I switched to PC finally, and I joined a team called Apes, which is I'm still good friends with those players that I played with on that team. And then after that, like 2019, like fall 2019, I moved into UTD and tried out for the team. And originally was a sub for the team. Now I'm a starter, and I've been playing for them for like 3 years now. And it's crazy to think about. I just coming to this podcast I think I mentioned it earlier. I was like, wow, 3 years have I really been playing in Collegiate for 3 years now? Goodness. Yeah.
I actually have a date on when I casted you
congrats.
on console. Yeah, that. Oh wow, that was good. That put me off. It was good. I have a date from when I last casted you on console. It was April 2018.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh my god.
And
4 years.
actually, in the lobby was Doomed Godoa or Doomed from currently Wisp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I actually wanted to ask, what was the hero that like grabbed you to Overwatch? Because I remember you playing a lot of Winston on console in particular. What was the big hero that got you stuck into Overwatch?
Yeah, so initially it was I loved Farah and Junkrat because they were just like so chaotic. I thought they were really fun. But then after a while I tried out like Reinhardt and Roadhog, especially when Roadhog was broken and I was able to carry lobbies just by playing a broken hero. I thought he was really fun. And then Reinhardt can just take control of the game. Like I miss those days when you were able to just take control of a lobby. You didn't have to rely too much on your team. You could just do whatever the heck you want. But yeah, I think definitely like Reinhardt and Roadhog really just like pulled me in a little bit more past just Farah and Junkrat.
Hey, Hook Pan.
Yeah, when Roadhog was broken, that was fun.
I wanted to ask as well, as someone who is still struggling to make the switch from console to PC, is the reason that you're still playing main tank primarily the fact that that's a difficult jump to make from controller to mouse and keyboard, and it's maybe a little bit easier with a non-high precision aim hero pool?
So yeah, I mean it's easier just make the switch because I play tank. I don't really have to aim, but I know a lot of like Doom Godoa, like he's a good example. Like anybody can do it. It just takes time and practice, and it's like not there's so many Xbox players out there that have made the transfer and just easily made it to top 500 or easily made like Gator Gator.
Yeah,
I didn't even know. I knew that. I found that out maybe like 2 years ago. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's an Xbox player. I love him. He's one of my favorites.
Tensa's another one.
Tensa. Yeah,
I think
Hopeful.
Tensa's currently coaching with.
Hopeful.
Yes, yeah.
We cast
Hopeful,
we cast all three of them.
I actually remember
Tensa and Hopeful and all them.
Fun fact about that last time I
console.
casted Luey was Doom Godot was always in. I actually said Doomed would make Contenders in that cast. My best ever call ever. Genuinely. Kind of lucky, but it was a good guess. Good guess.
Yeah.
Nutty player.
I honestly thought the same thing when he made the switch. That guy's insane. I was like, this guy has the talent. He can do it if he really puts his mind to it, and he did it. So anybody can do it. It just takes the time and practice, really.
Well, speaking of time and practice, I'm going to go ahead and kind of lead us into our next topic here. Making that transition from coming out of high school and going into collegiate. Now, we're seeing a lot more high school games start to pop up in high school leagues. What advice would you give to somebody who's looking to get into collegiate? What should they be looking for? Is there anything that you kind of wish you knew when you were getting into collegiate Overwatch?
Yeah, so it's really nice to hear. Yeah, we give full rides. Yeah, we're starting an esports program, like this and that. Like it sounds promising at first, but don't just immediately just take the offer. You need to look into the school and think about like your academics. Like in my opinion, that should come first if you're going into collegiate. It's like you're going there to get a degree. That's what, at least for our program, UTD Sports, we always prioritize academics over everything else. Like if we need to take a day off to do studying or anything, like by all means do it. So if you're looking into a school, like think about academics first. Like think about location. You know, if it has like strong academic programs, like something that you're interested in, don't just take like any random major just to be a part of, you know, an insane program.
Right.
But yeah, just really look into that. Look into the school, like really dig deep, and also I think just reaching out to people, because everyone in esports, especially in collegiate esports, from my experience, is you know, wanting to help people and wanting to help, like inform people and do anything they can to assist you. And you know, just reach out to people, reach out to the directors, reach out to players even. I've had players reach out to me before and ask me questions about the team and the school itself, you know. So just reach out to people, especially directors. They're always the best probably resource. And just ask about the program and ask about the school, what they offer, you know. Not just the full ride. You need to think about a lot of other little things as well. It does sound nice, but other things are just as important in my opinion.
Yeah, there's a nice point actually. Like we were talking to Wheats in the last episode that we did, who was saying like, yeah, people just reach out, and if I can help them, I will help them. Like if they want to know if this program is right for them, or even if they want to like ask for a trial, I can't always say yes, but like where I can help, I will help. Like I don't think there is the level of cutthroat in collegiate that there can be in some aspects of Contenders, because ultimately these are like a college university is so much more established than a tier 2 team. Like that they need to trade on their reputation, and the people in positions of power know that as well. So it's a really friendly scene because of that.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, esports, you know, is relatively new in collegiate, and colleges are seeing the value of it, and they will put so much money into it, not knowing what the heck they're doing. They'll put somebody in charge that doesn't know what the heck they're doing. Just some random person that says, "Oh, I played like video games for like 5 years." Like that's like I don't know. And
Which is just like tier 2, yeah.
Yeah, like that.
You know what? I vibe with that statement so much. There are a lot of tier 2 teams that have people in charge who are fucking clueless.
That clip's going on Twitter.
That was very good. That was fucking good.
But it is a little scary to think about, because you know, kids they're so young, and they don't like fully know like what they're like going into, and they commit to something, like they commit so much money to go to a school, like even move states or something, just to go to a school to just get screwed over by somebody that doesn't know how to run a program, or a school that just like, oh, we'll put all money in now, but like later, like how are you going to sustain the program? How are you gonna keep it going? And they don't know how to do that, and the program just falls apart. So it's really scary to think about sometimes too. Like collegiate can be a little risky when it comes to trying to move into it from high school. So you got to really just think about it and really know who you're talking to, and ask for help. Ask people for help, really.
I wonder if it's something that you have an insight into, because you've played for one collegiate team. But do you think that like the success and the continued success of a collegiate roster, like, you know, we keep talking about Redbirds because of the impact they made in the last couple of seasons of Contenders. Like if you have a roster or a team, a college that is repeatedly generating that kind of talent, is that a good indicator that like that is a program that is worth being part of, do you think?
I think so. I think that, yeah, if they're able to maintain talent like that for years, like Maryville's a prime example of that. Like they've had some solid players going there for like 3 to 4 years. It shows that the school is great, that they're getting their academics, and they're, you know, this program itself is really, really good and taking good care of the players. Like they're surrounded by good staff, and the school's supporting them. So yeah, I think if they're able to maintain talent like that, yeah, absolutely. Like it shows that the program is really reputable and very good to look into.
A follow-up point. So what drew you to UTD? How did you end up at the University of Texas Dallas? Did it have anything to do with esports? Did you go into it planning to get into esports, or was there other academic things that enticed you about the school, that you liked their programs? What was it about UTD that made it special?
So interestingly enough, I didn't know Collegiate Overwatch was a thing going into like after I graduated high school. I had no like idea. My sister, she gave me a tour of the campus. I was originally thinking about going to UT Austin. I got accepted there, but she gave me a tour of the campus and was telling me that they had an esports program. I was like, I did not know there was collegiate esports. I was really interested, and I reached out to the previous director, Greg. Got to talking to him a little bit and got to know about the program. And I think them having like it was a brand new program at the time, maybe like a year or 2 years old. And Greg, he really reeled me in, and I think I trusted him immediately. And also, aside from that, my sister going into the school with me, like she goes to the same school as me, really drew me in. But
Sure.
yeah, the program, like, and also, the school is very well known for like computer science. I think game design, like just technology in general, and I was really interested in that. So I think those are the main three things. My sibling being there, the esports program being very good, Greg being very helpful in every way he can, and I'm sorry, what was the third thing? The academics, I think. Academics.
Yeah,
esports
because
program was his term.
you were talking about you're an IT major. So I mean, if the school has a strong like computer science program, I mean, like that makes a ton of sense. That's a win-win-win.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
And I think that's a nice segue into our next topic here, which is being on any kind of competitive team puts a drain on your free time. When you've also got to balance that with going to class and doing labs, doing homework, whatever the equivalent is. How do you go about balancing, like keeping yourself at a top level of competition, having a social life, maintaining good grades? Like, what does that look like for you?
Yeah, it is hard. Being a collegiate player, no matter what game it is, Rocket League, League of Legends, like Valorant, it doesn't matter. It is hard. You have to balance a lot, and on top of that, like for myself, I have a job, and I'm sure a lot of kids out there have jobs, even 2 jobs, like, and a lot of other responsibilities, like working out, taking care of themselves, and trying to be social, trying to put themselves out there and be a part of
Sounds
the
exhausting.
campus
I
life.
do want to
It is a
note
lot.
that we
It
are
is a
talking
lot.
about esports players here. I doubt any of them are trying to be social.
Are you kidding? To look at this guy. This guy, he's fighting him off with a stick.
One.
You kidding?
This is what we invited Luey. They're actually kind of
Yeah.
cool. So
Yeah, some people, you're a little right. Some people can be a little antisocial, which is okay. It's okay. That's okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's just some of us need to touch grass.
Yeah, exactly. It's all right. But yeah, if like just maintaining all that is like super hard. Last semester, like for myself, I was trying to balance 2 jobs and being a full-time student and a player. Like it was hard, and I know a lot of kids do the same thing. So I guess my advice is just determine what's most important to you. Is it your academics? Is it esports? Is it gonna be, if you have to work a lot, then maybe you have to make the sacrifices. Maybe playing on an esports team isn't it. Like there's more important things than Overwatch. You really just have to find what's more important. I don't mean to make you upset, but as a college student, it's really important just to figure out what's most important to you, what's going to help you in the long run. So yeah, and even if you can't play on a team, I'm sure like the esports program will be more than happy to have you do something else like production, like that maybe like a little less time consuming. Social media, like there's a lot of other opportunities that you can do. So
I mean that sick roster reveal. I mean was done by students, was it not?
Yeah, we have a whole different teams for different things like social media, production, events. Like it's insane. It's insane how much our program's grown. We have like I don't even know, like maybe like 100+ kids in the program now.
Wow.
I don't even know. Yeah, it's insane.
And seeing the graphic side of things was kind of more my forte, so I could see that. I could see just nerding out on After Effects and doing cool roster reveal.
Oh yeah,
that sounds like a good
and
to me.
it's really cool because we have like an art school called ATech. So it's just like people who are interested in esports can really and are doing something that is related to their major can really showcase their talent through esports, and it's amazing to see like the opportunities that collegiate esports has given people and the jobs it's given people. Like we've had like multiple people have moved on to like Team Envy or Complexity Gaming, and I think even more. I can't even think of it off the top of my head, but it's amazing to see like collegiate esports is something to look into and something that can really give you such a good opportunity, a professional career, something for the rest of your life.
Wow.
Awesome. Yeah. Wow, indeed. Let's get a little more lighthearted with it. So next thing I had written down is I wanted to ask you about just some of your favorite moments competing with the school. Is there one or even a couple of just stand out that was I will remember that moment for the rest of my life kind of event or kind of minute in time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, actually, funny enough, it's still my pinned tweet, my favorite moment. I believe it was last year, 2021 spring. It was during playoffs. I think the farthest our team has ever gone was maybe top 16, maybe top 32. I don't remember. And we had a game against Ohio State, which at the time they were noted for being such a insane roster. Just came out of nowhere with some insanely talented. I'm going back to what I said. Just some you can just find some random players that have never been in contenders that are just insane, and they can just really showcase their skills in collegiate. And we went up against one of those teams, Ohio State. They had some insane players, and one was Performance, who I actually played on a team with before, and he's really insane. But yeah, I think one of my favorite moments, that tweet shows, we were down maybe 3 or 4 people.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, and I pinned the diva, or I pushed the diva off the map. I did that intentionally too, just out of instinct. And this was just such probably the best play I've ever made in my life, because we were gonna lose that fight, but I killed 3 or 4 on Ryan against a FAR comp. How is that possible? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I'm actually looking at this. It's on Oasis Gardens. It's a nuts play. You have to go check it out on
We've got it on
Twitter.
stream.
But
It's on screen, Ethan.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. I wasn't looking.
It's
Just looking at the clip. But I actually want to know that the last time I seen a popular play of yours, it was also an Oasis Garden. So maybe it's just a lucky charm of a map.
Oh yes, was it back on Xbox? Are you talking about Xbox?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, I do remember that. Holy moly! I can't believe you remember that too. I do remember.
I was casting that game with Billy. It was it was on Fresh Nut too. So
yeah, that was one against one of the top.
It was against Doom, Godot, and Banditos.
Yeah, his team. Yeah, I remember that. Holy crap, that was a long time ago.
And,
but yeah, I think that moment, clutching up there, and then after the match, my director, Greg, he was telling me oh my god, that play was, nobody else could have done that. You're insane for that. You really clutched up, and he told me that he was it felt like a proud father son moment. It was amazing. It was an amazing feeling for sure. And then we made top 8. That secured us top 8, and all odds were against us. Everyone didn't think that we were gonna win that. Ohio State, and we also reverse swept them. That match was a reverse sweep.
Oh wow.
We were 2-0, I wanna applaud all the teammates I've had playing for ETD for the past 3 years. We've always been able to keep a level headed. No matter how bad we're doing or we're losing, we never get tilted or angry, or we never flame each other or anything. We'll just keep going and be okay, don't even worry about that map, go next one. It's okay. And that's what we did. That was a prime example of us doing that. We were able to reverse sweep such a good team, and we won it. So yeah, that was probably my favorite moment for sure.
That's a heck of a moment. That's an amazing story.
We can actually keep our eyes on your Twitter a little bit. I believe you actually had
that's
tweet a little while ago about your top 8 teams in NA Collegiate. Do you want to take us through that?
Oh yeah,
Any
absolutely.
your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So as of now, I believe, and I still believe, Maryville, Northwood, Harrisburg, Bay State, Redbirds. I think us, UCI, and SCAD are top 8. And SCAD is a relatively new team, I believe. I think they had a team previous seasons, but this year they have a almost full Contenders roster.
Yeah, they got Snappy playing for them.
For those who don't know, who is UCI and SC and SCAD? What does it stand for?
Okay, yeah, University of California, Irvine, and actually I don't know.
Savannah College of Art and Design.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. You think I would know that, but I don't. Sorry. But it's really cool to see these rosters and all the talent they have and the experienced players that they have. I think SCAD is really interesting for sure, because they just came out of nowhere, and I've never heard of the school, and they just picked up a bunch of really solid players, and I really enjoy playing against them, and I really enjoy watching them. They're really nice guys too. So that's definitely a team to take note of. I think that if they really get like a really have a really good day, and I don't know if they have a coach. I don't think they do, which is honestly very interesting. If they have like a really good day and they can really get like pull their team together, I think they can really they can be like a dark horse and just come out of nowhere and just take on like a top 4 team or top 2 team even. So I think that's the case for any of these teams. I think UCI is very interesting. They picked up like their roster this year is almost brand new. They have a hog player named Romani. Maybe you've heard of him. He's always been
Romani.
yeah.
Usually
He's always
plays
been
like a weird OTP team in OD all the time.
I
That's
have
what
no
Romani
idea.
does.
I couldn't tell you, but I just know that guy is like always rank 1. I've played against him in rank before, and he's insane at hog. And of course they have like PGE. They have the streamer Light. He's really good, and they have a main tank named Mashiro, who's That's another good example of somebody I've never heard of. I don't even know if they've competed in tier 3 or tier 2, but they came out of nowhere, play for UCI, and they're insane. Really good player. So
Cool.
yeah. UCI is very interesting, Scat, and of course, I think y'all are really familiar with the rest of the teams. I imagine Bay State, Maryville, Harrisburg. I think Harrisburg is another team to really look out for. They're very scary. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but and I learned this by scrimming them. That Elk is back on main support. That's something to take note of.
Really?
Yeah. He doesn't play DPS anymore.
Is Pat playing flex DPS for them now? Is that what's happening?
I think, yeah, he used to play Flex DPS. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he played for like Uprising Academy previously when I think Tap was still there when they got top 4 in Gauntlet, or was on the bench maybe for Dynasty and Dove. But Tap's a good chaser player.
Yeah.
They have Lethal on the roster.
Yeah, they have Lethal now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, their team
good
is
DPS line. Tap and Lethal.
Yeah.
Harrisburg is really interesting to play against. They've always been like our kryptonite for like we can go pretty head to head with Northwood, and I haven't played Maryville like a long time. I've only played Maryville once, so I wouldn't really count playing them. Who's the other team? There's a Bay State. Like we can maybe go head to head with like Northwood and Bay State, like and maybe beat them. But Harrisburg for some reason has always been like our kryptonite. They just play like a really fast tempo, and they play ball comms really well. And now that Elk is like on main support, I imagine he shot calls for them a lot. And you know, having that experience from playing on Philadelphia Fusion, like that, like they're very scary. And I think that a lot of teams should take note of them and watch for them, because they might just win it. Like they could be a team that wins it all easily, I think.
I think the other good thing that Harrisburg have going for them is, of course, Joe Meister, who I don't think actually ever got any playtime in Season 1 Overwatch League, but is like that level of talent.
So,
but like has been in that coaching position now for multiple years, like a very established coach in this scene.
Yeah, he's been coaching them for years. But I think as of now, he got promoted to being director.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's cool.
Their director, he moved on with actually my director as well. They moved on to work for Riot. So
okay.
yeah. So I believe Joe Meister's director now. So I don't know if he's coaching them anymore. I believe he is not. I could be wrong. I think they have a new coach. But yeah, previous years when he was coaching them, like, you know, they showed so much success with them. So maybe he is still coaching them. Like I wouldn't be surprised. I have no clue.
I got this wrong. I thought I had Shake, their other coach here, as being previously in CGL, but no, it's previously in CLG, which is a different thing entirely.
Yeah, I think that's their coach now, Shake. He was a coach for Boston Uprising, I think.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think so. If you press on his page on Wikipedia, you might see.
Yeah. Shake finds coaching success with Boston Uprising.
Yeah. So that's their new coach now, I believe. Yeah.
And it looks like he was assistant coach under Joe Meister there for a little bit, so kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Sorry, I'm just looking at I'm looking at Shake's.
All right, changing topic, guys. We're just talking about Shake for the rest of the evening. Okay.
Sorry, this is a wild ride of weird organizations of like TSM, Code 7, who appeared on my feed the other day. Complexity. I assume this is in different games as well.
I do want to say before I move on that I'll say it again. Bay State stocks up here. I think they can take it all, and I love the boys. Like, shout out to them. I don't know if any of them are watching this, but I believe that they can win if they really get. I think they're being coached by Tensa too. which is
Yep.
something to take
Oh,
note of.
word.
Yeah.
Big Tensa fan.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they're being coached by Tensa.
Another console player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think like with
Recurring
Tensa's
theme.
Tensa's leadership, like coaching them and getting them together as a team, and if they can stay motivated and keep grinding the game, like I think they can take it all. So
In their game against Northwood most recently, I was putting Tensa diff in chat.
Tensa's such a good leader. He's been on so many really intelligent teams.
Yeah.
Big Tensa fan. Also, good taste in anime. I've seen some of his anime recs on the timeline, just
Okay.
unrelated completely, but
that's the important things, you know.
Yeah.
Just a note.
We're here just to satisfy some of the weeb aspects.
I actually have a note that Shake, I think, used to play with Joe Meister in a support line on one of their old teams in 2016.
Oh, I got it. My cord just shorted out. Hold on. So they can hear me, but it'll just take a second to reset this. While this is resetting, I want to ask. Okay, so do you think, Luey, that Bay State will take number one? If you had to pick 1, 2, and 3 right now, who's your choice?
That's tough. See, the tweet I posted, I didn't put any order in particular because it's like super hard. It's super close for a lot of those teams. I'm just a big Bay State fan, so I'm gonna say number 1. I've always been a big Bay State fan, and I'll keep supporting those guys. And I've played against them multiple times, and I think that they're insane. They continue to grow as a team, and they're just a whole unit together that can really just take on any team together. Bay State for sure, number 1. I think probably either. It's a little hard. I want to say Redbirds second, maybe. I think they beat Maryville in that one tournament, that the Berry Blast tournament. I could be wrong. So I want to say Redbirds, and then hot take. I'm going to say Harrisburg because I played against them a lot, and I've scrimmed them, and they have a really good coach, and Elk is back on main support, and everyone on that team's insane. So I think that they can really surprise people. I think they can really surprise people.
I have a different top 3. I'm a big Northwood fan, so I have Northwood at 1.
The thing about Northwood,
third.
The thing about Northwood is, I mean, they faced they faced Bay State recently, and they lost to them. And I think that they're not as much of a powerhouse anymore because they lost into us. I don't know how to say his name. They lost into us and Nos
and Lep.
Yeah, I think Lep is on the bench. I'm not entirely sure why. But I don't want to assume, but the only reason I can think that he would be on the bench because he's insane, right? Only thing I can think of he's on the bench is he's on academic probation. That's the only reason. You can't play in OWCC if you're on academic probation. So that's the only reason why I could think that, and that's why I don't think Northwood is as good as they used to be.
I'm just a big London fan, okay? That's a little London fan.
Oh my god! Try playing against that guy. He is insane.
He is crap.
He can take a whole team on his back as Zenyatta. Like surprisingly, he's insane.
And he's like
Zenyatta.
He's just like his character. I remember watching it playing on. Remember when he was a main support player playing Brig for Susano? Like big fan of Landon. Always will be.
Lazy Susan.
Yeah, he's really good. I've watched Landon's gameplay too, like after our matches, just out of curiosity, and he knows what the heck he's doing in that game. He's really good.
Okay, tangential question: Landon versus RuPaul, who takes it?
Landon. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
Easily. That man's brain is massive.
I haven't played against RuPaul. Oh no, I have.
Oh wait, it used to be Pascal.
Oh yeah. No, I have played against.
Mechanically, RuPaul might take it, but Landon's just a different gravy, man.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny. I literally played against Redbirds this past weekend during groups. I didn't even think about it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. No, I would still say Landon. I think he's insane.
Okay.
To be honest.
Landon hype train over here.
Respect.
Yeah,
Respect.
Good to know.
Yeah. Well,
all right, we're coming up to the end of this now. We can let you. We might just squeak you out in time to make your match. Any closing thoughts you've got on the collegiate system as a whole, and like whether you think it needs any outside assistance or like anything that can be done to help it blossom?
Collegiate system as a whole. I think that trying as far for Overwatch, I don't know about the other games, but I think making information more available to people and helping people access it and having those resources and finding everything they need to know about Collegiate Overwatch needs like there needs to be like something better. Because I remember when I first joined, like I said, I didn't even know Collegiate Overwatch was a thing when I first joined, and I feel as of now like it's a little bit better maybe, but I wish there was like maybe like a website or something just fully dedicated just to Collegiate Overwatch, and it had like all the tournaments that goes on in Collegiate, any lands that come up, like news, like that would be really cool. Like somebody could just pull up a website and just find everything they need, and they can find any information about colleges. I mean, maybe there is one. As far as I'm aware, I don't think there is.
I think what would help with that is also having group stages streamed. I think that would be something to know. And also, do you want to talk about just something Phil's just posted, some breaking news? Do you want to quickly talk about it?
Yeah, I can very. I don't think we've got time to feed this into into Jeff's workflow. But Boston Uprising have just announced the Collegiate Cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we might. Somebody reached out to us. We might be playing in that. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, watch out.
Well,
yeah.
You could have leaked that to us, and we could have we could have talked about that. But okay,
that's okay.
Unknown LAN event or something. Come on.
No, it's okay. It's not confirmed, but we're hoping to play in that as well. It'll be really fun, and I think Grand Final's gonna be in Boston, so looking forward to that for sure.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be wicked fun.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah, in-person LAN finals. Everybody loves a good LAN. There's nothing like it, right? There's just nothing like it.
No.
Yeah. Well, Luey, thank you so much for joining us. I do have one final thing, which is I noticed in your tweet announcing that you were about to be on this podcast, that it was time to shit talk Hammer. I wanted to give you like a minute's window here to do that if you want to get interested.
Oh yeah, no, I love Hammer so much. He's a good friend of mine. He plays for that's another university to look out for, Converse University. They're really good.
Yes.
Maybe not in top 8, but they could easily be top 8. They could easily be top 4. They can show up at any time. And Hammer is a really good player. But anytime we face Hammer, we beat their asses, and we'll do it again anytime. So
I feel like I followed Hammer because I cast HSEL for a while back in 2021. And he was on We Are Powerful. It was kind of an amalgamation of schools, but they just like went undefeated through the HSEL, and then just immediately went to Best Buds, and it was just like an OD, and I'm like, wait a minute, it's Hammer and Best Buds. It's like it's that same squad that I just saw in their high school days, and then get second place in OD, or third place, just like one map from missing out on trials, and then going and casting more collegiate and seeing them on Converse, and Hammer playing DPS for them, which I've always seen him play main tank, and then Hammer's just on DPS and killing it there as well. So it kind of ended up being this stop following me kind of scenario. So yeah, it was just kind of funny.
Can I just highlight one more thing on Hammer? Actually commenting in the chat for this as we're talking. Oh no, there we go. Like Hammer, no way, this is a section. Yeah, absolutely a section. A couple of comments before that, Hammer, my school got 800 people, ain't no talent to be found. So yeah,
happens.
That's why Hammer's on DPS. Then that makes sense.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
he's good.
Hammer. We love you, man.
He's good at DPS though. I ain't gonna lie. He's
oh yeah.
Oh, no,
yeah.
I think you misread the situation though. This is a shit talking Hammer section.
True. My bad.
Okay. Well, look, Luey, thank you so much. It's been really, really good fun having you on.
Absolutely.
Really good to hear your thoughts on some of this stuff. We've got some closing out stuff to do before we get to doing the closeout stuff. You want to plug your Twitter or your Twitch or anything else you want to bring up to the people watching?
Yeah. Luey OW on Twitter. I guess just UTD Esports. Check us out. We always post about our matches. Just stay up to date. Follow OWCC if you can. There's a lot of fun matches happening this weekend and next weekend. It's gonna be really hype for sure. So pay attention to Collegiate, and not only that, there's NACE, NECC. There's a lot of big tournaments, and I think some lands coming up too. So it's gonna be really exciting for the rest of the semester before Overwatch 2 comes out. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know, and obviously, you're a very, very busy guy. So, being able to make this time, it really means a lot to us. And yeah, thank you, and good luck with the rest of OCC. And hopefully, we'll get to have you on again, next time or in the future sometime. That'd be wonderful. But
yeah, absolutely.
If you need to go take care of a business, I know you said you got a fill for your match tonight for NECC, but if you need to go ahead and run, it's not going to hurt anybody's feelings here. Otherwise, we've got our tweet of the week and some closing thoughts for the podcast.
Yeah, tweet of the week is going to be another John_classic. Not necessarily for anything that John has put out here, but as like he's put together here's an opportunity to. Apologies, my dog has seen something he wants to bark at. That was surprisingly loud. Yeah, let's have a look at that John tweet. He is encouraging people to send in plays from Overwatch 1, not necessarily good plays, but plays anyway. It looks like we have actually lost Luey here.
He probably
he's got to run. So
he's got a match starting right now.
He's got a
so
match.
By all means.
Yeah. So let's have a look at that tier 2.
Derail us.
If only. Let's have a look at that tier 2 tweet of the week.
There it is.
The tweet itself is a nice prompt, but like go and look at all the stuff under that because there is some absolute howlers and belters under that for people's misplays in Overwatch 1. It seems like a nice testament to the end of the game.
I like the exposing your friends, highly welcome.
Yes. Yeah. Let's have a look at this one from Muga. What do we got here? Are we going to go duplicate into the hole?
Yep.
Yeah, off we go.
There you go.
Beautiful stuff, Muga.
Excellent.
Love to see
Excellent. All right, here we go. Oh, sorry about the audio.
See, is mine down there still at the top of the list?
Wait, did that
I'm
cancel?
quite happy to share mine. Oh God, I watched this one. This poor Sombra. Yeah, that was rough, man.
Double squish. Yeah. All right, let's go find yours.
Squish. Yeah. If it's not like right up near the top, don't worry about it.
Well, I'll do a quick little scroll through, see if I can see it.
I think this is your Twitter feed. I don't think we're on that tweet anymore.
It didn't. What? I was just on it.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. But regardless, like you can go and find that. It's basically me as Roadhog blasting and ulting Reaper through the entirety of my team and getting them a 4K. So that's one of my proudest moments.
This is a great thread. Definitely go check it out, and definitely deserving of our Tier 2 tweet of the week. John _ it's a favorite of mine. It's actually who I got my coaching from. So he's
a good guy. He's a smart coach and just a general all round nice guy.
Yeah, amen. Double vouch on that one.
Well, I guess all that's left then is closing plugs. So please go and follow all of us on Twitter. We need the hit of dopamine that comes from seeing the little red notification on our Twitters. That's really helpful to us. Please sub to the podcast if you haven't already. Give us a like. All that stuff really helps. Recommend us to friends. All that good word of mouth stuff helps us grow and helps us highlight the tier 2 and tier 3 scenes that little bit better. Thank you, as always, to Glitch City for letting us use her remix of the King's Row theme for the show intro. And thanks you guys for having me on. Yeah, absolutely. And all of our thoughts from Billy. Get well soon, Billy. Oh yeah, of course. I hope the surgery goes well today. I know Billy was nervous, but the constitution on that guy, he could be hit by a truck, get it, brush himself off, and keep on his way. He'll be absolutely fine. Yeah, like the truck would be the one that's worse for wear. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. Like I've known Billy 4.5 years now. This is the least of his concerns over this 4.5 years. He's a very strong person. Strong person. He'll be grand. Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be back here for the next one, no problems. And of course, a super, super special shout out and huge, just overwhelming thank you to Luey for coming on. Yeah. For our early days, we're in episode 4 and we're getting these fantastic guests, and Luey was kind enough to take a risk and come join us and talk collegiate and talk about his experiences. And so just huge thank yous there. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It really was. Right. Thanks, everyone. We'll catch you on the next one.